Hey, what's up, guys? Coach Mac, playfastfootball.blogspot.com. The other day we did offensive video. Today we're going to focus on a special teams video. We're going to talk a little bit about kick return and the style of kick return that I am using in high school, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about why I'm using it, why I like it, why it's been effective for us in high school, and the reasons why I went to it. In terms of what our kids couldn't do and what our kids struggle to do. In high school football, I think one of the big things you've constantly got to take a look at is you got to understand what your kids can do. If you sit around all the time talking about what your kids can't do, and then you continually ask your kids to do things that they can't do, I think that's a coaching issue. I don't think that's a player's issue. I think personally, if you are going to ask your kids to do things that you know that they cannot do, then I think that falls back on the coach. So we're going to try and do a better job. The last couple of years, I've been trying to do a better job of forcing myself to really understand what our kids can do as opposed to what they can't do, and trying to focus on the things that our kids can do and can get accomplished, and really spend a lot of time on that and not as much time on what they can't do. And then all that does is it leads you to sit around and be upset or miserable as a coaching staff. It sucks a lot of energy out of you to say, I don't understand why our kids can't do this or can't do that. So we're going to focus today on what we want to do on kickoff return and why we want to do it. In my 20 years of high school football and dealing with kick return stuff, one of the things that I noticed we had a hard time doing was we had a really hard time with our frontline guys being able to see a ball kicked off the tee and then be athletic enough to sprint 20 to 25 yards backwards to create leverage and angles on the people that we needed to block, whether it be the old-fashioned days of wedges, or either way, whether it's a man scheme or a kick-out scheme, whatever you're trying to do, the old style or maybe even still the style of kick returns in college or in the NFL, or it's frontline guys that had to be athletic enough to drop 20 to 25 yards or however far you needed to drop them, and they had to sprint to the 25 or the 20 or whatever they had to do to set up a middle return or a left return or a right return. And I watched our guys in high school for years struggle doing that. I watched us struggle to sprint that far. I watched us struggle to have the hips to sprint that far, turn our hips and get on a guy. I watched kickoff team guys run right by us. And after a while I started to figure out, we've got to figure something that our guys can do that's a little bit more conducive to the talent level that we have, even if it's not the style of kick return that you may see on a Saturday or a Sunday. It's got to be a style of kick return that works for us. And at the end of the day, I think a lot of my ideas come from what I see on Saturdays, because I think the college game is so conducive to the high school game. But at the end of the day, my ideas also come from 20 years of watching what kids can and can't do. So I have a pretty good idea, for the most part, what my kids on kick return are going to be able to do and what they're not going to be able to do. So what I did this past year was I came up with a system that I think is a little bit better for our players. It's a little bit out of the ordinary from what you may see on normal kick return stuff, but it works for us. It's effective for us, and last year we did return one for a touchdown at the last school I was at. This year we have not returned one for a touchdown, but we have gotten the ball past midfield once or twice, and we have got it to the 35 or beyond the 40 once or twice. I think the most important thing for us is we have not lost a possession on kick return yet. And I think that in today's game, the way today's game is played, I think losing and gaining possessions is a big part of winning and losing football games. Just like the turnover stat for so many years was a huge stat, and one of the reasons is it's an added possession. It takes a possession away from one team and it gives a possession to the other team. You can't score unless you have the football. All the simple axioms of football that you have to understand in order to play good winning football. So we have not given up a possession on kick return yet. We have not given up a possession on an onside kick. We have not given up a possession on a pooch kick. We have not given up a possession on a fumble. So every time we have an opportunity to return a kick, we have maintained the football. And I think that's, to me, on kick return, that's one of the first things that you got to be able to understand, and one of the first things that you got to do. Make sure you keep the football. Don't give the other team an opportunity to get the football back. Okay, so what we've done is we've gone to a 6-1, 2-2 kick return, really almost a 7-2-2 kick return, or you can look at it as a 6-3-2 kick return. What we've done is we've gone with 6 frontline players. We've gone with a center in the middle who is really sometimes part of the front line, but sometimes he's also part of the back line, depending on the types of returns or the types of kickoffs we're seeing. All right, we've got 2 upbacks or 2 fullbacks, however you want to traditionally call them, and then we have 2 return players. Okay, so we've gone to this system of kick return for us because it's easier for our guys to do. We play all skill position players on the kick return. Okay, we play all wide receivers, DBs, running backs, safeties, maybe a linebacker depending on how good he runs, maybe a tight end type depending on how good he runs. All right, but we play all skill positions. We don't play any linemen on the second level. We don't play any linemen or offensive or defensive linemen in the back wedge. We don't set wedges. All right, so we play all skill position players. So we feel like at any time we can handle onside kicks. All right, we feel like we can always handle sky kicks or pooch kicks. Okay, so that's one of the first things that we do different. Play with a 6-man front line. All right, a center that is kind of a hybrid front line, back line player. All right, play with 2 upbacks, 2 return guys, and we play with all skill position personnel. Anybody on the team can or should be able to field a sky kick, a pooch kick, an onside kick. So we feel like we're constantly ready for onside kicks. Now, we do feel like that puts us at a little bit of a disadvantage sometimes with the guys that we have to block if the other team is sending down their best linebackers, you know, as interior wedge buster guys or, you know, your old-fashioned wedge buster guys. Those guys, in essence, they become tougher to block, but for me, it comes down to almost a pass protection type deal where if I can get somebody in somebody's way that gets ran over, that will slow down that player to the football and I should be able to gain extra yardage. Obviously, anytime you have a player that misses a block, gets ran over, you know, whatever that case may be, you're probably not going to have a great return unless your returner can make 2 or 3 people miss. All right, but sometimes I think you have to look at it as, you know, the lesser of 2 evils. So if I get a guy that can get in somebody's way and harass them, almost like a stalk block scenario for a wide receiver, keep yourself between the defender and the football as long as possible. Keep yourself between the defender and the returner as long as possible, okay, and allow our returner to get positive yards. All right, keep your body on his body as long as you can. Be a nuisance, be a hassle. You don't have to be a guy that blocks somebody out of bounds or to the sideline. You just have to be a guy that has enough passion in what you do and enough conviction about winning and losing that you're willing to stick your nose in the middle of somebody that's trying to run down and get to the football. Okay, so with that said, we have some bodies out there that may not be the most conducive to being the best blockers on a kick return. All right, but for me, it's not about the best blockers on a kick return. For me, it's about putting people in position to maintain possession, all right, and then asking those guys to do something that is a little bit more conducive to their skill set. All right, so with our frontline players, we are not going to spread our frontline players 20 to 25 yards backwards to set a wall. We're not going to cross them to try and pick people off. All we're going to do when the ball is kicked is we're going to ask them to drop about 8 yards, either inside or outside with leverage, depending on where we're trying to return the ball. We're going to ask them to drop about 8 yards, see the ball off the tee first, drop about 8 yards, and then we're going to settle it up and make it man-to-man football. All right, so with each return we have, everybody on our team is responsible for a man. We will double team some people at times and leave what we think are either the widest or the safeties or the slowest players unblocked. Okay, but essentially what we made it is we've made it accountability football. All right, every player on our team has a guy to block. All right, and the bottom line is at the end of the day, don't let your guy make the tackle. If everybody on your team took the attitude that my guy doesn't make the tackle, you'll have great kick returns. So what we've eliminated is we've eliminated some of the gray area of dropping 25 yards to get to a wedge if you don't have the skill level to do it, setting the wedge on the ball, setting the wedge in the middle, setting the wedge to the bench or to the field. All right, and then when guys make plays, it's, well, coach, I thought he was going to do this or I thought he was going to do that. Now we've kind of eliminated all that to where we have our guys assigned to a man, okay? If that man makes the tackle, then obviously you didn't block your man. Somewhere along the line, you either whiffed, missed, didn't have enough conviction in your effort to block that guy, blocked the wrong guy, but somewhere along the line, if you're assigned to block the 5, the 6, or the 7, and that player makes the tackle, that's your problem. All right, and then we either need to fix the problem or we need to find somebody else that can do it. So we've eliminated the gray area of trying to figure out where the problems occur. Okay, the problems occur when you're in a man scheme. All right, we don't get as many, maybe we don't get as many house calls within this return system, but what we do get is we get a more accountable system to where we know who's making tackles and which of our guys are not blocking people. All right, it makes it more accountable, and you can get on players about who you're supposed to block. Okay, so what we've done in our base return system, all right, is right now we've got drawn up a middle return. Okay, so we've got drawn up a middle return. All right, now I'm going to put up probably the most simplistic return that we can possibly have. Each week we will change these returns and we will get a little bit more exotic with what we do, but this is about as easy as we can make it. All right, on the right hand side here, we're going to ask our right end. You can see our front line players are on about the 49 or 48 yard line ready, making sure we don't give up any bubbles, we don't give up any soft areas for onside kicks. They're going to wait for the ball to be kicked over their head before they sprint. We're going to ask them to drop about 8 yards and gain leverage. So I'm going to take my right end and ask them to drop about 8 yards with inside leverage to kick their number 2 out. We count from the right to the left over, and we don't count the kicker. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Don't count the kicker. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's our ID system. That's how we count it out for our guys. So we're going to ask our right end to drop with leverage inside to see if we can block the 2 out. We're going to ask our right tackle to drop with leverage inside 8 to 10 yards, see if we can block the 3 out. We're going to ask our right guard. He's already should have leverage on the 4. Probably going to drop him straight back 8 to 10 yards. See if he can block the 4 out. Now our center is a guy that we can use both ways. We can use our center to do a lot of different things if we want to manipulate the return or change the return. All right. In this look right here, our center is a guy that we're just going to try and get to block number 6 out. Okay. If 6 is one of their best football players, then we may use the center to double team with an up back or somebody else. Okay. Right now we've got the center. All right, he's here to make sure there's no middle onside, there's no quick out of the huddle burst onsides. He's here to make sure that if there are any onside kicks, he's in a position to be able to help and field them. All right, but he's also in a position where he's lined up at about the 42-yard line, so we really only need him to drop about 5 yards to get leverage on the 6, and then we want to put a body on the 6 right now. All right, we want our left guard to see he's already got leverage on the 7, so he's more of a straight drop player here. All right, 8 to 10 yards, kick the 7 out. All right, our left tackle now needs to drop a little bit further inside to get leverage on the 8, all right, and try and block the 8 out. Our left end is really going to have to run to get leverage inside, 8 to 10 yards inside to get leverage on the 9, try and block the 9 out. As of right now, we are leaving the 10, assuming he is the safety, widest guy in the field, or depending on where they kick the ball. Right now, we're going to leave the 10 unaccounted for. We're going to leave the 1 unaccounted for. Those may be guys that end up getting picked up by our left or right returners. All right. In this return right here, what we've got is we've got a double team on the 5. So we've got our 2 upbacks. If the ball is not pooched or skied, if the ball is kicked over their head, we have our 2 upbacks meeting in the middle and double teaming the 5. So we want this to be a middle return. Our left returner will make the call, you, or me. All right. Our other returner will secure the catch to make sure that the ball is caught. Once the ball is caught, our other returner will get into the return and block the most dangerous man. So if it's a middle return, I want my other returner to get to the middle where the ball would, as if he had the ball on the return. I want him to get to the middle and block the first opposite color jersey that he sees. We don't know who that's going to be because we don't know, will we block everybody? Will all of our guys block the right guy? Will we maintain and stay leverage on our blocks? We don't know who the most dangerous man is. So we tell them, most dangerous man is the first opposite color jersey that you might find. It may be the 1 or 10. If the 1 or 10, if our look is wrong on film and the 1 or 10 sprint down the field, it may be them. We may have to go kick out the 1 or the 10 depending on where the ball is kicked and where it's coming from. But we explain to them that you've got the most dangerous man after you secure the catch and make sure that the returner has the football. Left returner has a me, you call. We'd like to make that call early. Once you make it, live with it. If there's wind or if the ball starts drifting, if it's a me, I got to go return it. The worst thing in the world is the ball on the ground. Worst thing in the world is 2 returners looking at each other with nobody fielding the ball. Get the ball caught so you can get it up the field. Hitting yardage is a big thing in football and special teams. Get it caught, get it up the field, get it past the 25, get it to the 30, give your offense a chance to start with decent field position, all right? Don't get pinned backwards because you bounce around sideways, you drop the ball, you don't call me or you, the ball lands between the 2 of you, all right? Be able to handle, all right, all kicks and be able to get the ball returned up the middle where we want it. Don't run sideways. We have had some success with some returns that have gone a little bit wider, but it's more so been that the returner is better than the guys on the kickoff team than it has been anything to do with the scheme. We want the scheme to be up the middle, stovepipe first, then we can go hash number sideline with speed if we get it where we need to get it, if we've got it blocked right. All right, so this would be just a generic middle return for us. All right, it would be 2 out, 3 out, 4 out, 6 out, 7 out, 8 out, 9 out. Double team the 5 right there. Okay, so you can see we've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 blocked. We don't have 1 and 10 blocked right now. All right, if they were bullets and not gunners, then maybe we would change it up and block it different. We like to change it up every week anyways with how we're blocking it so that the other team doesn't get the same look on film. Okay, but this is just a generic inside middle return out of what we call our 6-1-2-2 kick return. Okay, the other thing that has been really good to us, all right, this season is in high school, what you're going to deal with a lot of times is you are going to deal with a lot of sky short pooch kicks. All right, a lot of teams don't have the ability to kick the ball deep. If they can't kick it into the end zone, they're not going to kick it to the 15 and let you return it to the 30. All right, they're going to sky it high and short, try and make you fair catch it, not field it, get bodies on it. So with this return, what it's allowed us to do is it's allowed us to take our center and move our center where we want them when we're playing sky teams or pooch teams or short high team, sky kick, pooch kick teams that are going to kick the ball to the 20, the 25 with a lot of height, all right, force you to fair catch it and then try and get some bodies there if you don't fair catch it. So what it's helped us out is it's helped us use our center as a player that can handle, all right, short sky kicks along with our up back. So what we'll do when we're playing a sky team is we'll send our center and our up back to the side we think the ball is going to be sky kicked to, and we'll move them up, all right, we'll put them at about the 30-yard line. Okay, and then we'll take our returner to that side and we'll move him up to about the 20-yard line. All right, we'll take our up back from the other side and we'll move him, all right, a little bit more to the middle of the field. All right, probably at about the 30 as well. And then we'll take our opposite returner and we'll put him on about the 15-yard line. All right, and we'll put him closer to the sky kick side, but he'll still, right returner. He'll be on about the 15, and he'll be somewhere from middle of the field, shading the other side, depending on the looks that the other team shows, depending on how many kicks you see on film. Okay, but really, in essence, what it's done is it's allowed us to put 2 players in position to field a sky kick. All right. What it's also allowed us to do, all right, the big thing that I think it helps is because we're a man scheme, all right, when we're playing these sky teams with 6 frontline players, it allows us to get bodies on bodies however we want to block it. All right, it allows us to get bodies on bodies and not allow free hitters down the field for the pooch kick or the sky kick. When they kick it high and short, they're trying to get bodies down there to either recover a muff kick, or if you don't fair catch it, they're trying to blast you as soon as you catch it. So the man scheme for us when we're playing sky kick teams is we're going to be aggressive and we're going to attack the players up front, all right, with 3 or 4 of our frontline players. And then obviously if it's sky to our left, these guys are just trying to get a body on the nearest inside body they can, all right? And then whichever of our 2 returners doesn't field the sky or the pooch kick, if the left up back, which happened to us in our last game, the left up back fielded 2 pooch kicks, sky kicks. If he fair catches the ball, then what we need is we need our center to get a body on the first thing coming down, and I need my left returner to get up here, all right, and secure the catch. What that'll do is that'll give me 4 immediate bodies blocking their bodies. If they have 6 on that side, I want to block the 4 that get down the field first. If they have 5 on that side, I want to block the 4 that either get down the field first or the 4 that are nearer to the ball. But what it does is it takes away free sprinters down the field to recover fumbles or to jar the ball loose if your returner doesn't call for a fair catch. Okay? So whichever one of my players between my center and my up back, whoever doesn't call for the fair catch, the other guy is able to go up and get a body on a player, all right, so that we can block at least 4 to possibly 5 guys coming down, all right, and then I still have my returner who I moved up to the 20. I still have my returner sprinting in this direction to secure the catch so that if my fair catch guy fumbles the ball, I have another body there to catch it because I want somebody with my fair catch signaler to field that, because the more jerseys we have, the better chance we have to field the ball. All right? In retrospect, I want to get as many bodies on their bodies as I can so that if I muff this kick, they don't have free guys down the field. Way too often on sky kicks, you see a guy fair catching the ball with 3 or 4 guys blaring down the field right on him. All right, that's not what you want. You want an opportunity to fair catch it, and if it does go on the ground, you want an opportunity to return it. All right, so we feel like this 6-1-2-2 return allows us to move some guys around in sky kick scenarios. What's the toughest to defend? The team that can sky kick with a good kicker both ways. The team that's 5-5 that can sky kick both ways. Okay? Now you've got to stay within your base alignment. You've got to teach your upbacks how to handle sky kicks and fair catch. And then you've got to teach your front 6 and your center to get bodies on bodies right now, because we're probably only going to have one guy in position to secure the sky kick. If they're 5-5 and their kicker does a good job of sky kicking both ways, and you don't get a hint or a tell in which way the sky kick's going, all right, that's the toughest to defend, and your upbacks got to be ready to handle sky kicks. They got to be ready to fair catch kicks. You got to get your front line on bodies. And then the biggest thing is your returners and guys in the back end, they can't take plays off. All right? If this were to be some type of sky kick over here to our right returner, our right upback right now, all right, and our right upback is going to be a guy that signals for a fair catch, the last thing you want in the world is your right returner buying a ticket and watching the game. If you can't return the ball, sprint your butt up here so that if that guy puts the ball on the ground, you have a chance to recover. A lot of times returners will take plays off if the ball's not kicked to them. They're guys that want the ball anyways. They're guys that want to return the ball. A lot of times if the ball's not kicked to them and they don't have pride in their team or winning games, a lot of times they'll take that play off. If you're a returner and they sky kick short, you need to sprint up to where that thing is kicked so that you're an extra body to be there to secure a fumble or possibly get a body on a body or whatever you may need to be. Okay, so we feel like the 6-1-2-2 for us, all right, has helped us maintain possession of the football on kick return. We feel like it's putting our kids in a better position to do things that are more to their skill set. Don't ask a kid on the front line to drop 25 yards at an angle to set a wedge if a kid can't do that. If you're watching all your kick returns and all you see is guys running by your guys, you're wasting your time. All right, so we've gone to something that's a little bit more conducive to high school. All right, we go to more of a man scheme. We only ask our guys to drop 8 or 10 yards. All right, and that front 6 and that center, normally those 7 are on 7 guys right away. Okay, and we want to make that a one-on-one battle. We want to make that guy have to run through you or over you or across your chest to make a tackle. If we are winning with leverage, we want to stay in his hip pocket and ride him out the way we want him to go so that our return can get sent where it wants to. Okay, but again, do things that our kids can do. We're only going to drop them 8 to 10 yards. We're not going to drop them 20. Put players on there that can achieve the goal. I like to use receivers and safeties, guys that know how to stalk block. Get in somebody's way, pester them, annoy them. Don't let them run down the field full speed and make tackles. Okay? Get bodies on bodies as soon as you can to impede the speed zone of the kickoff team. All right? Now, if your body just whiffs on that body and that guy is able to go through the speed zone at the right time, then you're wasted your time. All right? You're not going to have a good kick return. But if you can get 7 bodies on 7 bodies early, okay, you take the kicker out, you get 7 bodies on 7 bodies early. That's 8 of their players that aren't down the field right now looking to make plays. Now you've got yourself a chance. Always take care of the sky kicks and the pooch kicks. Always make sure that you are maintaining possession. All right, again, sometimes I think at the lower level, high school football, middle school football, junior high, Pop Warner, sometimes at those levels, I think you've got to find ways to do things that your kids can do, even if it's a little bit out of the ordinary, even if it's not the clinic topic that you hear about. This is not NFL kick return. This is not college kick return. This is specifically a high school kick return that is geared towards doing things that our players can do. Okay? And in my 20 years experience as a high school football coach and as a head football coach, I think the more we get our guys to do the things they can do, the less we'll sit around the office talking about what they can't do. We're still going to do it. It's in our nature. We're still going to, we're probably going to draw up too many things for our kids to do. I do it to this day still. I probably run too much on offense and defense. Tried to limit what we do. All right, I've tried to limit what we do on special teams, but I feel like 20 years removed, I'm now in a position where I feel like I do put our kids in a better position to win. It's something I focus on a lot. It's something I take pride in. Sitting around and talking about schemes on a notebook and drawing great schemes up in special teams or offense or defense, that's all great for clinics. It's great for the off season. Bottom line is you have to find a way at your high school with the 40 kids that walk in the door that aren't going to change from August to November. You got to find a way to win games with those kids. And for us, kick return wise, this is what we feel like gives us the best option. All right. I hope you guys got something out of it. If it's one thing that can help you, then good. If it's nothing that can help you, all right, well then maybe it just makes you a little bit stronger in your convictions about how you do kick return. Okay, either way, all right, it's all about getting your kids to do what they can do and getting them to do it as fast as possible. Until next time, guys, you won't play well until you play fast. See you guys later.